would love to be able to say Goldman Sachs is getting it right with governance at the top of the firm. Unfortunately, they just won't let us. Anthony, fill us in on the latest.
Yeah, they've managed to follow up last week's stitch up with a bit of a smackdown. Remember last week they decided that they would announce this fantastic new role of lead director.
Which they already had.
Well, they already had it in the form of a presiding director, so they've basically changed name and thrown in a couple of extra. Well, that's true, that's true.
But this was a big gambit to stop a proposal that was going to come to shareholders. That was going to separate the chairman and CEO roles, which Lloyd Blankfein has both of at this point.
And the theory was that Lloyd would take the chairman's role only, and that Gary Cohn probably would come up and become the CEO. But that was overridden by last week's agreement, which seems to be a rather weird agreement, and they've made that even worse this week by deciding to appoint one of their board members, James Shiro, as the lead director.
Right, so the lead director should be...
You know, if
you're going to have a lead director, you want instead of a chairman, you want somebody strong who can ask tough questions.
Exactly, and somebody who's already been sitting on the board for a couple of years, 3 years, I guess now. Somebody who was already running the audit committee, and somebody whose own sort of career past has a few issues within it. Doesn't seem like I don't think this is what the union that basically made this deal with Goldman was looking to get out of
They wanted someone independent, someone willing to field and ask tough questions. And what they've got is someone who, well, maybe he will. I mean, you never know. It's not as if he's a complete disaster, but as Jeff said, he's got a few issues in his career in the past. He was CEO of Zurich Re for, what, 5-6 years?
Right. Zurich Financial, yeah.
Wasn't the Zurich Financial. It wasn't the most disastrous time, but it wasn't brilliant. Before that, he was at...
He ran Pricewaterhouse. It was a little tricky that.
Yeah, there was a time when the SEC in the end of the 90s was looking into, well, all of the big accounting firms, and they discovered quite a few irregularities on sort of sticking to...
A lot of conflicts.
Fair number of conflicts, including actually Shiro himself had held stock in one of the firms that they were auditing, and actually at one point was sued by the firm who PwC was auditing.
But there were never any charges brought against them.
There were never any charges brought. It was settled.
But then the other thing is the guy worked for PwC, and Goldman's auditor is PwC.
He's been running the relationship between.
He runs the audit committee, which manages the relationship with it. So I mean, look, it doesn't necessarily, like as you say, it doesn't mean that it's not going to go right, but it just starts off on a really bad.
Yeah, if the idea is to have someone who's meant to be the de facto chairman doing a really good job and showing to shareholders who have been complaining that they want someone with a more independent voice, this doesn't seem to tick any, if any of those boxes.
Okay, we'll leave it there. We'll be following Goldman's governance, and we'll have more from Breaking Views tomorrow.